Good morning. This is Angela with today's cup of tea. Today's topic is something that I have not really even touched on before, amazingly enough. Because you see it so much out there with the law of abundance stuff and uh, the secret and law of attractions, all that kind of stuff, all this business talk on that and spiritual talk. But I was made to understand this week how important it is for me to actually talk about it now because several situations came up for me to look at and see how it fits into the picture. And that has to do with how we perceive positive abundance, how we perceive value on things, and how we have become enslaved to connecting value and abundance and wealth with currency. And there's a lot of work to do to break down, because the first question a lot of people say, well, if you can't buy anything, you can't have anything. Well, you know what? That's really not true. And I'll tell you, I got into a conversation with somebody who I know really well, somebody I've been working with for a while, and who's a good friend of mine as well. And she even brought it up, and she has these times, when stuff comes up to clear, and she'll say, well, am I really worth this? Am I really worth all the work I'm doing? She's taking a lot of classes, and she's doing a lot of work on herself. And then she'll have this down moment, and we were working at it from this worthiness standpoint. I didn't understand why it wasn't clicking. And then I heard, when we were having that conversation, I heard it has to do with her enslavement to value and money. And I was like, oh, okay. So, and all this other stuff has come in recently that all has to do with that as well. Look at how we value things based on how much they're worth, how much money you have to pay to get something. Had a debate with somebody online the other day about, who made a comment about, people who waste their time, wasting money, getting, college loans to take majors that are useless. And I said, well, what defines useless? Because something that's not, maybe it doesn't make $150,000, $600,000 a year, doesn't make it a valuable career, doesn't make it a valuable option for something for them to learn. And if that's what they are passionate about, they'll find a way. They will find a way to do it. It has nothing to do with money, because you know what? The more we love, the more we're in love, the more the vibration goes up with us, and the more we attract to us that is for our highest and best. That has nothing to do with currency. It has everything to do with abundance and value and worth and our love for ourselves. So let me back up, because I could talk about this for days, and I just like, wow, all this downloads of all this stuff is even coming in as I'm talking. But there's a story that I told her. I said, here, we want to talk about, let's take away money out of the equation altogether. Because what happens is this: people want to try all this law of abundance and the secret stuff and all that blah, blah, blah. And so they start doing affirmations and I guess what they call vision boards and things like that. And then they say, well, I want to make X amount of money this year. Why? What if you make X amount of money? Well, then I'll be able to have everything I want. Well, what if you could have everything you want without needing to have that amount of money? And a lot of times people look at me like I have two heads when I say that. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, because things come, you create your reality, and you can have things come to you without having to tie them and enslave yourself to the monetary value that they have. So the story that I was telling that had to do with this is, it seems that this has gotten easier and easier for me as I've gone along, especially in this past year. And, I've taken several trips that have cost me almost nothing, that are like really high scale trips. And they've been wonderful and amazing, and they've all served me in some really awesome way. So this came up again. I've wanted to take scuba diving for like 25 years. I wanted to be a marine biologist years ago, and I am passionate about the ocean and marine life and marine mammals and everything. So I've been wanting to do it. My husband and I have been talking about it since I've known him, 20 years. And about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I discovered somebody we knew actually taught scuba. And it was never the right time. I wanted to do it. We talk about it, and it just wasn't the right time. Things were just still, shifting in my life. And So a whole bunch of stuff cleared up, and all that shifting, all that stuff started to clear away at the end of last year. And the first of this year, I said to my husband, we're going to do it this year. We're going to take scuba lessons. He said, yeah, cool, because he's wanted to do it too. Yeah, let's do it. We'll put it on the docket. So I contacted this person and said to him, so do you have spring classes? I figure later in the spring. It is North Carolina. We are warm, but not that warm. And he came back and said, yeah, actually I have classes starting up soon. In fact, and he takes a group of people down to Cozumel to do their open dive certification once a year. And he said, in fact, that trip is coming up at the end of April. I would love for you guys to come. It would be great. Now, Cozumel, very tempting. I have another trip that's planned in June that I've been called to do to Mount Shasta for like 3 years. And I have been made to understand that it is my priority to get there this year. So I'm doing it. And I came back, and this is how I responded. I said, you know what? And he understands this work too. And I said, my priority is getting to Mount Shasta in June, in the West Coast. That is my top priority, and nothing is going to waylay that. And I would love to go to Cozumel at the end of April, so all I'm going to say is I'm not trading one for the other. Mount Shasta is my priority. So tell me how much I have to manifest. Tell me how much I have to manifest for the trip. And if it's supposed to be, we'll find it. We'll figure it out. And so, and I never said I don't have it in my budget, I don't have the money. I just put it out there of this. I said in January, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to do this. And I also know that I'm doing this trip in June. And all I said was the priority, I know my priority is going in June, and I know I've been told that very definitively. So, if this also falls in line with what's highest and best for me, then it'll happen. And guess what? We were able to something came up that was unexpected that enabled us to pay for the trip, just like that. It was that easy. And many people are saying, oh well, that would never happen to me. Yes, it does. When we stop saying, well, if I can come up with X amount of dollars, then I can do this. Well, guess what? That implies that you're not going to be able to do that unless you come up with that X amount of dollars, or unless you have that. Or if you say, I don't have it right now, let me see what I can do. Even if you say, I don't have, anytime you are talking about I don't have, I am in want of, or not me, and I don't have such luck, you're creating that. You're perpetuating that for yourself. So, and a lot of that has to do with, and even when we do start to manifest, when we do start to consciously do affirmations, we say things like, I'm going to make this amount of money a year. Well, you know what? What's the goal to make, to have that kind of money? A lot of people say, well, so I could have this kind of house. Well, why do you want that kind of house? Then it goes into the value, because there's something in you that's saying that you're more worthy of a person because you have this size house. Because you have this big, huge house, or because you have this, really super duper, really expensive car. It goes back to everything that is so ingrained in our society of, well, you might not want to take that for college major because you're not going to make any money doing it. Well, let's create that for them. There are plenty of people who have done things and defied the odds when people have told them that, because they just didn't believe it. And that's really true of what happens is they don't believe it. They believe they can do it regardless. And that is the key. You stop thinking about the dollar amounts. You stop thinking about the currency that we've made up to begin with. And then you can divorce yourself from that and just totally be free to create at will the way you want it to be, in the highest and best way, and allow the universe to bring it. Allow Creator and your higher self to bring it to you in the highest and best, most awesome package, without any stress, without the trauma, drama, and illness, and all with grace and ease. Those are my only reins. Those are my only parameters, is without trauma, drama, and illness, and with grace and ease and balance, harmony, and joy, and fun, excitement, adventure, and all that stuff. So that's why today's clearing has to do completely with detaching value, our perception of value and worth, from currency, our perception of abundance, positive abundance and wealth, detaching that from currency, because that's actually an agreement that many of us have had, and that's an agreement many of us have bought into. So let's just clear that out. So, would you like to get all the following without trauma, drama, or illness, without creating or recreating a negative situation for illustration or experience, and all with ease, grace, balance, harmony, joy, fun, excitement, adventure, love, humor, and bliss? Would you like it for all versions of you, all times, all places, into the ever-expanding universe, to infinity and beyond? Would you like to receive all the information from this clearing and healing to come into you via instantaneous and comprehensive download with fully conscious understanding in the moment, version, and timeline from which it is requested? Would you like all of Creator's truths and understandings, perceptions, definitions, discernments that come in from this clearing and healing to replace your own? Would you like all of those to replace your own for Creator's version, to replace your own and become your own for divine alignment? And would you like all of what we do here to be offered to all of your ancestors and descendants as they so choose to accept? Okay, that being said, let's move into it. Would you like to dissolve, resolve, release, and clear all etheric binding agreements that require you to understand or define value by attaching currency, by defining worth by attaching currency, by defining abundance and positive abundance and wealth by attaching currency definitions to it, and to get from Creators the truth on the purpose of that and how it served you to have it and how it'll serve you to be without it. To get to thank all parties involved, to open the doors to apology and forgiveness where appropriate to and from all parties involved, download the feelings and knowledge and understanding of apology and forgiveness to and from all parties involved. Pull all related beliefs, all of them. Let's pull them all, meaning I must spend this much money to be of value. Something that is valuable is worth a lot of money or currency. Something isn't valuable unless it's worth a lot of money. I attach worth to currency. I attach value to currency, to the amount it costs. I attach myself, the value of myself, to currency. And anything else related to that. We're going to pull all of that, all of it. It's time to get rid of it. Pull all fears and anxieties, regrets, rejections, resentments, and anger that are related to that. Pull all memory and energy of that from the cellular level. Pull all related self-limiting thoughts, words, and actions from the cellular level. Transform it to Creator's light, send it back to Creator. Close those receptors and open new ones. Saturate the cells and in between the cells with the highest vibration of Creator's unconditional love. And download the beliefs: I'm priceless. I am valued at everything. I am valued at the divine level. I am invaluable. There is nothing that can put a value to me because I am everything. I am worth everything. I am the divine. I know how to value something without attaching currency to it. I know how to define something's worth. I know how to actually, not even define, let's take that, cancel clearly that. I know how to value something without putting attaching currency to its worth. And anything related to that, know how that feels moving forward. Know how to do that. Know how it feels to do that. To get Creators, to download the feelings and understandings of how to do that. Knowing that you're worthy, deserving, and able to, that it's possible, allowed, okay, and safe to, that you're ready, willing, and able to, and that you have that in your life right now. Then heal, resolve, and clear the timelines in all directions to infinity with the violet and platinum flames. And if you would like that, take a deep breath. Close your eyes, be open to receive, and say, yes, value. And that's it. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy this wonderful spring weather. This is Angela with today's Cup of Tea.